I mean, and of course she's using the Tory Lanez situation, as part of I have information because she's implying.
Well, she also doesn't like Meg, so she hates Meg.
Yeah. So she's implying that Roc Nation got Tory stabbed. And let me tell you something.
I don't believe that at all.
Right. Let me tell you something. I interviewed Freeway Ricky Ross recently, and this is a prison guy, right? This is a guy that's linked to the prisons. Biggest drug dealer in America at one point. You and I do not have the type of connections that he has. And what he told me, which was very interesting, is, Wack told me one side of the story. He said, this Mexican dude, his girlfriend tried to holler at Tory, and Tory tried to be like, hey, man, I'll just let you know, blah, blah, your girl tried to holler at me, and then he lost it and stabbed him. Well, the story I heard was a little different. The story I heard that came from Freeway, and this clip is out, y'all could look at it, was that Tory actually tried to flirt with this guy's girlfriend, like during visiting or something like that. That guy went to the black gangs in the prison, whether the Crips or the Bloods or whatever, and said, hey, this is what happened, and they gave him the green light to stab up Tory. That's the story that Freeway told me.
Tory's team hit me.
Regardless, Roc Nation had nothing to do with it. Tory's problems all come down to a woman every single time, if you really think about it. Yeah. That is his kryptonite, is women.
I agree.
Right?
But I will say the reasons why these things keep coming up is that there are sometimes unusual things that happen. Like, for example,
someone getting stabbed in prison is unusual?
No,
really?
No. Okay, no.
That is not unusual.
No, not that.
In California State Prison, every day.
No.
During our interview, I bet you 10 people got stabbed.
No, not that.
Okay.
The idea that Roc Nation has a vested interest in Tory Lanez being in jail or not be, it does. During his trial, you have Desiree Perez, the CEO of Roc Nation, who's sitting with the DA in court. Okay. She's not a victim. Yes, she is a CEO of the management company that manages the victim, Meg Thee Stallion.
Okay.
But that's highly on. If you saw the boss of a company sitting next to a DA, you might be like, they got some pull here. That's why I think those theories kind of fester from. Not saying it's 100% validated or true, but this is why it doesn't go away. Now, is Nikki using that to gaslight people?
I don't know anything about that, man. All I do know is that when you shoot somebody and the victim gets on the stand and says, this is the person who shot me, you're probably going to prison.
Unless you're A$AP Rocky.
Unless you're A$AP Rocky, right? But if you think about it, A$AP Telly, his whole story.
I'm gonna be honest though, A$AP Rocky not going to jail. I'm more confused about the Tory Lanez case.
What do you mean?
A$AP Rocky's case is more open and shut than Tory, other than the fact that there's a woman as a victim in Tory's case.
Well, no.
The guy.
I interviewed Joe Tacopina, and the reason why A$AP Rocky beat that case was because A$AP Relly was one of the worst witnesses ever. He really was.
True.
And I brought this up. If I said, listen, Joe, me and Joe talk. Joe was supposed to do an interview today, but he was in Germany. He hit me up and said, I'm really sorry. But, he basically said, like, last time we did an interview, like, I got more calls than any interview I've ever done. I got you.
Relly was shot next door, but also you got to remember Meg lied.
Right. So, if A$AP Relly took the stand and said, look, me and Rocky have a long history. I was upset over something he did. We met up. There was a scuffle. He pulled out what appeared to be a gun. He shot at me. I was scared for my life. I fell on the ground. I scratched my knuckles. I didn't feel the bullets whizzing by me. I didn't get shot. But from my point of view, it looked like a real gun. It made a bang sound. And I hit the ground. And this is why I'm sitting here testifying. Rocky probably would have went to prison. But you got this guy saying, hey, I went back and I found the shell casings, even though cops were there for hours, they couldn't find anything. And have you ever gone to a gun range? Never. But then there's footage of him going to the gun range. And then there's the extortion part. And then there's this and there's all of that. A$AP Relly lost that case all by himself. The only thing that Megan really lied about was sleeping.
No.
She said that she didn't sleep with with Tory when she was doing Gayle King, but you're not under oath when you're doing that.
Not true. She told the investigators on the scene who pulled her over, I stepped on glass. She didn't say till weeks later, he shot me. So you were seeing some of the same stuff here.
She stepped on glass, but then ultimately they found bullet fragments in her foot.
The first doctor felt it was consistent. The second doctor, who was more of a chiropractor, they found the bullet fragments. What I'm saying, her story isn't the most like black and white. I think when you get a woman up there crying and being like, that nigga shot me, that shit will play. This is why you don't want to go to trial with no woman up there crying.
Exactly.
That's why I thought Diddy was cooked. Cassie over here holding her belly like, yo, he had me doing freak offs. I thought Diddy was cooked.
I personally think that there was a fight over the gun between Kelsey and Tory, and I think that both of them possibly shot the gun. I don't think they were trying to kill Megan. I think that they were angry, and there was a gun, and when you have a gun and you're angry and everyone's drunk, and I've seen drunk people, men and women, do the stupidest shit you could possibly imagine in the moment, and then the next morning go, oh, I didn't realize I did that. Yeah, I was drunk. I'm sorry. You know, you have a bunch of drunk people playing with guns. Guns go off. I think Tory was involved, saying, I dropped the gun and it went off twice.
Yo, and here's the difference with
That's Tory's defense. And he hit her arm. He hit Kelsey's arm and the gun fell and it went off twice. And then you're apologizing to the shooter on a jail call. And like, I don't listen, there's so many.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference with A$AP Rocky's
When I was saying Tory's going to go to jail and he DM'd me, he was like, yo, man, I know, what do you know? What do you know? I said, you're going to go to jail because the evidence is clear here. And I was right. I didn't have anything against Tory. Do I dislike Tory? No, I do not. No, I do not. In fact, when he gets out, I'd love to do an interview with him.
Hey.
I have nothing against him. I did not do anything to hurt his case on any level, but I just said, I predict in the same way I predicted how the Diddy trial will end, I successfully predicted the way the Tory trial. Remember? You interviewed me during that time. Did I say he was going to jail?
Yeah, but many people did.
Right.
Like, I mean,
most people are saying he's not.
No, the people.
Most of my fans were saying he's not.
But those people also still believe he's innocent.
Right.
So here's the thing. If there wasn't A$AP and an A$AP, was it Twiz? I can't even remember these guys' names.
Yeah.
They stayed on. They followed the money.
No, they
followed the money.
They said it was a starter pistol.
Listen,
I told Joe I don't believe the starter pistol defense. I told him that.
Come on.
But I'm happy that he won.
And also, the person up there in the apartment didn't see it. There was no line of sight. He didn't see the shot.
And you have one of the biggest celebrities on the planet, Rihanna, sitting there in the front row, and the jury was just sitting there like, oh my God, that's Rihanna.
And apparently the judge compliments her.
Right, exactly. And I'm sure half the jury was fans of Rihanna and probably
they had a 25-minute conversation whether they were going to refer to her as his wife or his girlfriend,
right,
or baby mother,
whatever. Exactly.
That's all you need to know.
That's what I'm saying.
This is why Kanye showed up to Diddy's trial. And you got to shake shit up sometimes.
Yeah, Joe's a great lawyer, and remember
Joe's an amazing lawyer.
Yeah, and remember Tory's original lawyer, the black female lawyer, didn't want to do his case.
Well,
so he had to get a last minute lawyer.
No. She did want to do the case, but she told him to take the plea because the idea that he wanted to possibly either take the stand or take it to trial, she said it would never work.
Right.
She said mock trials weren't going good, and she doesn't feel comfortable putting him up there. And the only irony about that, right after she gets off the case, she goes and produces a whole TV show and scores it with all Jay-Z songs. That's what's crazy. I'm
going to tell you this. Listen, to everyone who's
Free Tory, man.
Everyone who's watching this right now, this is something I had to learn myself over time. This is something I had to learn. At some point, a lot of the people who's watching this, may have to deal with some court type stuff, whether it's, a criminal case, a family case, a civil case, whatever else. Get the best lawyer you could afford, and then listen to your lawyer. Because, and I've caught myself trying to do this also, and I had to catch myself. Far too often, you'll tell a lawyer, I know what's going to happen. We're going to do it this way. And a lawyer will ultimately say, okay, we'll go with your way, or they'll say we quit. But you really should listen to your lawyer. I remember all the times I've argued with my lawyers and said, no, we're going to do this instead. And they're like, okay, fine. You want to do it? Fine. We'll do this. Fine. Whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. We'll do it your way. And then I've always found that their way always works better. You know, I mean, like, I got lawyers right now who, you know, someone that Drew Finling referred to me that I'm dealing with a case right now. You know, she has 35 years of experience.
Civil?
Yeah. So I argued with her, and I'm like, I'm arguing with someone who has 35 years of experience. I have 0 years of experience. I don't have a law degree. I've only done a few court cases, whatever. She's telling me to do it this way, but she's like, fine, if you want to do it this way, we'll do it that way. And I'm like, fine, we'll do it your way. And ultimately, it worked out by doing it her way because she knows what the hell she's doing. And a lot of times with people like Tory, they get so pumped up by their own ego and their fans and the internet, because everyone on the internet, listen, you know how many polls I did? Will Tory be found out guilty? All the polls said that he will be found out guilty. He was found guilty. So he should have listened to his original lawyer. Instead, he wouldn't listen to his lawyer, got a new lawyer that would agree with him, because that new lawyer wants to check. You'll always find a lawyer to agree with you. And they're usually not the best lawyers. You think, you know.
That was Jose Baez.
Well, that's later. That's for the appeal. Jose Baez was not his lawyer during that trial.
That was George Mazeshvin.
Who the hell is that? Not one of the top guys. So you have a problem with Tory, you know, and he's sitting there aggravating the situation. He's poking the bear and making songs about her and everything else like that. Like, you know, like, he did a lot of shit that you just shouldn't do because he let the fans and the internet pump his head up. Like, shut the fuck up. Listen to your lawyer. Every time I've not listened to my lawyer, I've had to pay the price.
He's at the last step with
oral arguments coming up on the 18th, I think.
Yeah, so he has 2 appeals in. One's a writ of habeas corpus, and then the other one is an appeal for a new trial. Mm-hmm. And oral arguments is coming up. Again, I honestly don't think either or is going to be successable. Because all the arguments... And I've said,
listen, if Tory beats his case, I will come out and say, listen, I was wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be honest. Like, so
I don't think he's going to be his case, but if he does, then I'll say I'm wrong.
The arguments
Not that it'll matter.
The arguments that they made on in the press conference. Hey, we have a declaration by the driver. Y'all were offered to adjourn the trial that they could meet with the driver, the prosecution, and you could introduce him. And they said no.
Exactly. His lawyer made that choice, not his original lawyer. The rental lawyer that he got later on.
Yeah, those things can be brought back. And then they're saying that, we heard from the bodyguard of Kelsey, she admitted it.
Yeah,
it just won't.
Whatever. Like, and I remember, I think it was Megan's lawyer. I think it was Alex Spiro maybe that said, like, okay, so you're saying that he didn't shoot her because the gun went off, but then you're also saying she didn't get shot. Which one is it? You can't say you didn't shoot her, but also say that like, you see, you can't have it both ways. You got to pick one.
I agree with that in the court of a public opinion, but in court, Diddy didn't say, I didn't do this shit. Diddy just said, what y'all are saying is lies. I mean, the burden of proof isn't on you. Like, for example, if all 3 of us get locked up and they said I shot the gun, I'm gonna have all type of defenses. There was no gunshot. Or I'll be like, if it was shot, it wasn't me. Why didn't him? Why didn't him? So I just don't think any of these things will work. I don't think he's getting a pardon.
No, he's not getting a pardon. He'd get a pardon from Newsom.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom ain't doing it.
He's not pardoning.
So
that's not cool.
I don't know. Like, you know, I speak to his team a lot. They're highly optimistic. They've even told me, Tory's
his team.
Yeah, they're like, yo, listen, you want to put a bet on it? I'm like, I don't know if y'all know something. I don't know, but you know, I don't think he's getting out.
I don't think he's getting out either. And that's ultimately.
And it pains me to say that because, you know, I like Tory, man.
No, I don't have anything. People think I have something against Tory. I do not.
Well, I don't think people think you have something against Tory. I think people think you have something. Like, there's certain people, when they make a prediction or have an opinion, at any cost, they want that opinion to be right. And you've always been steadfast in what you've said.
Yeah.
So rather than possibly be like, oh, well, I didn't consider this, and maybe it goes another way. You're like, no, I told you niggas. You're one of those I told you niggas type of people.
But I'm usually right.
I mean, if it's
not every time, but most times when these cases come around, I'm usually right because I'm also not head in the clouds, starstruck, or whatever else. I'm looking at the actual evidence. I'm looking at how the jury will actually view it. I've been in courtrooms with juries. I've been through jury selection. I've been through.
You weren't right with the
depositions.
A$AP Rocky one. You said that nigga should take the deal. He
I did.
spanked the shit out of that one.
No, you're right. I was wrong in that.
And by the way, I had the
was
same
wrong.
opinion too. I thought he should take it.
I thought he should take the deal, and I thought
Taco Pina's just
and I thought that
amazing.
the starter pistol defense I didn't think was that strong. But hey, I also didn't know that A$AP Relly had all this nonsense associated with him. You know, you take A$AP Relly out
his
of the
man's recorded the conversation and flipped on him because, like, this is why you got to stay close to the money. The billionaire is that man's wife, okay? That's man's baby mama. His own friend, because he calls his friend to gossip about it. Yeah, yo, if he don't give me some money and stop playing around, yo, I could get him locked up. His whole shit is done. The friend records it and goes to A$AP Rocky's lawyer with it. Yo, that's crazy, man.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So I didn't know some of that stuff.
Yeah, they played the recording.
Yeah, exactly.
They played the recording in court, and I'm sitting there like, yo, his friend who recorded him, you could tell Rocky's going to give him a bag. When he took the stand, I've never seen a nigga ready to snitch like this. He crossed his leg like this. This is him on the stand. When a nigga go like this, crossing your leg on the stand, I know Rocky's giving him some bread. Yeah. Because he flipped on, he wasn't that cool with Rocky.
Yeah. Well,
so it is what it is.
People go with the winning side.